Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work, a connect the dot, an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description. Happy Halloween! My Beth Dutton costume. I am a cowgirl from Montana. Really good TV show. Embracing my inner Beth today. Not quite. Um, if you get inspired to shop small and do small business, AlleyCatCreations211.com. I make a lot of pyramids in epoxy, lots of gems, 5 to 6 pounds worth of fun and healing, EMF protection, paintings. I currently have Miss Freya, there she goes, under my desk. I'm going to take this beautiful cowboy hat out and off so I can lean back. Hi, and I got my little belt buckle here. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. Unfortunately, I'm off today. Yeah, who knew Halloween was a celebrated day off here in my town? But I'm off and I don't get paid. So a little pissed at that. Just put another application in for another job since a lot of these jobs are not working around my part-time and my full-time. So I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that I get as much help as possible. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed, liked, shared, and support me, big and small. Really, really, my gratitude goes out to all of you. Times are really tough. Not getting too far in the loan process either. Mm. I don't understand life right now, but who knows, maybe Spirit will give me a surprise next month, which is tomorrow. I'm praying. Don't know if I'm going live tomorrow. The time might change. I don't know. I'll figure it out for those of you who watch most of my videos. I have Friday night lives. I am also off tomorrow. Um, which means I don't get a paycheck like that, or my paycheck gets short. So here, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I'm probably gonna do a live. I just don't know what time. Um, yeah. Anywho, sorry for ranting and complaining, as that's, well, I'll breach that. Maybe we'll be trick-or-treating with Viking and the girls. We'll see. I was doing makeup trials with one of them yesterday. Uh, she knows I love makeup. And just because I do the gothic thing doesn't mean I don't know how to do regular makeup. So that was really fun. And I hope all of you are going to have fun during Halloween. Let's remember, stop putting all the negativity into a holiday when it should be one of union and coming together and having this one especially. So go out there, have fun. Be the inner kid. Be creative. There's so much creativity around this time, and I think we fail to forget it because we're just so focused on negative, evil people. Stop giving them the energy. Let's be fun and positive and family oriented. And the message of Aquaria, of course. This next chapter is True Priesthood. Shall be interesting here. Quote, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. And quote, Malachi. Quote, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, said the Lord of hosts. Another Malachi, end quote. Quote, for the Melchizedek, from Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, without father, without mother, without descendant, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abateth a priest continually, end quote. The term priest in its various aspects means an elder, prince, hierophant, and prophet. All these meanings go back to the early days of the race when humanity was taught face to face by the elder brothers, the divine beings, who are the spiritual parents of mankind. As humanity grew in intellectual attainment, these divine teachers withdrew and left in their stead the more advanced souls among men who had been selected, gathered together and trained in the secret sciences until they had passed lives, great initiation, and became one in consciousness with their divine progenitors. Many of us are here now. Congratulations. Such initiated priests needed no credentials, no apostate succession, no robes or outward show of authority, for they carried within them the memory of the touch of the hand of the great initiator, and were able to manifest and demonstrate the power of their priestly office and their right to serve forever before the altar of the Most High, having been set apart and trained in the laws of spiritual realms and the science of consciously communicating, theopneustos, with the spiritual progenitors of the race, the gods. They were able to point out how the physical manifestations of the great law must be observed to produce harmony on earth. True superiority is always recognized and sought, both for advice and leadership. Hence, as the high priests interpreted the divine law, they naturally became the governors or kings of the people, while the less advanced priests performed various other functions. This is the basis of truth and the doctrine of the divine right of kings. But it is true only when the king is also a prophet and priest before the Lord. In Egypt, the pharaoh was also a high priest of the temple. In many more modern nations, Russia, Japan, etc., the ruler is also the acknowledged head of the church, his coronation as king being followed by his consecration as priest. Since religion is the foundation on which all civilization is built, if this foundation is laid according to mere human judgment, even the best, the whole structure is doomed, sooner or later, to totter and fail. The fact that evolution and progress have steadily advanced in spite of many false notes of man-made interpretation of divine wisdom shows that the original foundation was laid by the gods themselves, who came to earth for that purpose. True reform does not mean tearing up the foundations of religion or society, but merely substituting the divine teachings wherever the human has been found wanting. The role of the priest-king is a true kingship in the highest sense, because he is according the best good of the people in seeing that the divine laws are carried out. Such a rule is always beneficent, since the rules of conduct he lays down are the reflection on earth of the laws of harmony operating in the higher realms. The commands for the establishment of the priesthood, as outlined in the Hebrew scriptures, show by their beautiful symbology what a divinely ordained priesthood should be. It is there plainly indicated that the priesthood must be set apart and consecrated by the Most High. For although the priestly office, functions, and dress are described most minutely, there is no earthly ceremony given for the consecration of a priesthood. The account simply says, quote, "The Lord filled their hands," end quote, symbolizing the divine touch which gave them the power to perform the magical rites pertaining to their office. Pause. Hi, guys. Here's my input. Since the Council of Nicaea and the council before them, what has led religion's downfall, and that's not talking just about the three upper echelons of Judaism, Christianity, and Muslimhood. It's all sections, and even spirituality for that matter, where greed and power over others is the infestation of a plague. It has come to a head right now as we see, some head figures. I don't want to call them priests. They think they're getting things from divine, and they're really not. They're getting things from divine beings, but maybe those beings are in polarity and are maybe self-ego is getting in the way, and things have been interpreted wrong since the beginning. Language has been interpreted wrong. And people's perspectives, whether you like it or not, are valid for them. Everybody's entitled to an opinion and a perspective of how reality functions, including myself. It's when people are gaining profit. Profit is in terms of money, and trying to have power and ego over others. That doesn't serve the mass populace in the laws of harmony and attraction. And people speak so eloquently and give you some false narratives and false programmings to follow because you're not going within your heart space. It's one thing for a person who's on the spiritual path to have a lot of knowledge, to want to make a living out of it and make an honest earnings, a humbled earnings. We all need to make some form of 3D recompense here. We all need to be able to feed ourselves, put shelter over our heads, and be able to be self-sustainable. But it's another thing to jump on bandwagons where you're in pyramid schemes selling products amongst products amongst products, and then the best new thing, and that other thing fades away. But if it was really working, why were you falsifying your wording? It mind boggles me how people who are selling you spiritual elixirs of goodies have this big influx of like sell, buy me, while they're trying to preach all this spiritual gook. And then eventually in a year or so, it fades away in the background and a new product comes out. And do you see, I'm not making fun of anybody, and I don't find it wrong that people are using those tools to make some bills. But there are people on the higher end who are making six figures. What are they doing for humanity? How are they being of service to others? Oh, so they're making other people rich. Rich in what? Rich in health? You're the one that dictates your health. I know I have to drink a hell more lot of like electrolytic water. I need to find different forms of minerals to help my kidneys. Different maybe supplements, natural ones that will help my kidney function, but also my thyroid, but I'm not giving my energy into people who will feed you some false shit. And then all of a sudden it's the best thing ever and it fades. If it was the best thing ever and it was really doing its job, more and more people would be talking about it still. These are the people who are preaching a lot of messages that have a lot of following, that have a lot of basis in many movements, that are exploiting others. Whether they do it with willful intention of good or bad, it doesn't matter. The people that I find most honest, most authentic, ones that are just authentically putting their valued viewpoints out there, are not really looking for much more than being sustained. being able to live their everyday human lives. They're not looking for grandiose big deals. They're just writing books and giving you the information, being humbled about it and thankful, and you can feel it in the intention. And when we go into these religious houses, these different religions, what are they selling you? Where are you putting and feeding your energy? We can't come into a place of worship and not have a sense of brotherhood, whatever religion you walk into, whatever religion you practice. What are these people preaching to you? What are they conveying to you? Does it align in your heart space? Or are you just allowing, once again, like the mainstream media, are they just talking and you're allowing their dictations to run your life? You are the creator of your universe. When are you going to actually walk in that fact and do something about it? I know for myself, I am trying to create beautiful things for myself. I put the action into motion in several different ways. Things are not sticking. So I got to find and figure out different modalities and methods before I give up completely. You know, I have to learn patience, and sometimes patience takes years, but I'm not giving up on my dreams. But in the meantime, I have to sustain those visions of what I want for myself, and I have to put myself into a place where I'm going to have to work harder and not have lots of sleep just to achieve. I would hope people like myself are the ones that I don't need to be called anything, but I know that I've been divinely touched, and so have many of you. We just have to make a means of getting the word out there, the law of one, the laws of the universe, and do it in our own unique frequency and get more people on board. I'm not knocking religion and spirituality. I can knock it all day because I don't see a lot of great things happening with the messages being conveyed besides a few. You know, it becomes more of a cult following than it is using the techniques and applying it to your life. We got to step up humanity big time. Step up now. When the high priest desired to consult the Lord, he donned the sacred vestment called the ephod, without which it was said no magical ceremony could be performed, either black or white, entered the Holy of Holies, faced the Ark of the Covenant, and propounded the questions of the people. This vestment bore a breastplate containing the 12 sacred stones, upon which were carved the names of the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 signs of the zodiac, showing the foundation of magical power to be based upon the spiritual forces emanating from the signs of the zodiac. Attached to the ephod was the mysterious Urim and Thummim, of which the Bible speaks so much, yet gives no satisfactory description or explanation. It is said to signify light and perfection, or doctrine and judgment. But in reality, it symbolizes the mystic power of gathering the positive and negative potencies of the zodiac, and through the power of the will, making them accomplish that which the priest directs, a power obtained only by one who has passed life's great initiation and reached mastery. Such an initiated priesthood was founded by Melchizedek, and only when a priesthood after the order of Melchizedek has been reestablished and humanity again gladly follows a divine law, not as children, but because they recognize its authority, can the problems of mankind be truly solved and the conditions under which humanity is suffering today be finally readjusted. For these conditions are the result of following the human rather than divinely appointed priesthood. Bingo. Especially in this day, do we find religious teachers telling their most advanced followers who come to them for an explanation of the mysteries their souls have experienced, that such things must not be questioned or studied, just plainly that even though they are priests, they are not in touch with the divine and hence cannot explain the deeper spiritual mysteries. They are not true priests of the Lord, else they could put on the ephod, the robe of spiritual at-one-ment, and require of the Lord direct and receive the answer to any question or problem. What I think a lot of people don't know is you don't need to put shit on. You can walk in the forest naked all you want. You can commune with your higher self and source at any time. You don't need a robe or a magical hat or a scepter or a magic tool, a wand. You don't. The true or white magicians are symbolized by Melchizedek, who was made not after the law of a carnal commitment, but after the power of an endless life, and whose superiority power was so great that Abram recognized him as divinely manifested being and gladly paid tithes unto him. Perhaps there is no more mysterious personage mentioned in the Bible than the great priest King Melchizedek. We are told so little concerning him, yet what we are told implies so much that he has been a mystery to all students. Bible scholars tell us that Melchizedek's father was Heracles, Hercules, or Helios, the god of the sun, while his mother was Astaroth, or Selene, the goddess of the moon. This parentage makes him identical with Shem, the eldest son of Noah, while the esoteric teachings identify both Noah and Melchizedek with the planetary ruler of Mars. Noah is but another aspect of Jehovah, while the ark or the crescent moon symbolizes the divine mother principle, their son always being the Christ child. This explains why Jesus was ordained a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. For he had the same parentage, without father, without mother, without descendant, having neither beginning of days nor end of life. The power of the Most High, the principal Father, and Mary, or Mare, the deep, great deep, or divine love, the mother principal among the Egyptians, the crescent ark is placed beneath the feet of Divine Mother after the Christ child has been brought forth, a symbol which the Christian church has appropriated from the Egyptians without change and present to its followers in Virgin Mary. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I see the camera doing this, and it's freaking me out, so I'm going to try to pause and reset. Hang on. I hope it's fixed now. That was really bothering me. Sorry. I'm sure it bothers some of you too. In the allegory, Melchizedek is said to have founded Salem, which after its capture by the Jebusites was called Jebu-Salem, and after they were driven out by David, became Jerusalem, the holy city. Applied to the personality, the holy city is man's divine heritage. His originally pure spiritual body, disobedient, the divine self, until the Jebusites, I want to say Jesuits so bad, or man's lower principles enter and gradually take possession. This allegory refers to the ancient days when the early sub-races gradually fell away from their divine guidance and followed after the human rulers, man's developing reason and intellect. Only when David, the king of love, conquers the Jebusites can reason and intellect be illumined by the light of Christ. Then will the New Jerusalem come down out of heaven, in which they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light. Jerusalem, the city in which the human priests and Levites had their temple, although a real city upon the physical plane, was and still is used allegorically to symbolize the various stages of the unregenerated human body. It was notorious for the stench, that arose from the burning flesh of the animals daily sacrificed, from the stables in which they were kept, and the various bloody offerings made for the sins of the people. Just so the sacrifices which the personality offers its gods, worldly position, greed, mammon, animal desire, are like the bloody offerings made by the priests and Levites, able to accomplish nothing but the pollution of the air of the city, the breath of the spirit, and the degradation of its inhabitants. But just as the lower aspect of Jerusalem had its concrete expression on the physical plane, so must its higher aspect, the regenerative, spiritualized human body, wherein the Prince of Peace reigns, a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, and offers his sacrifice before the Lord, find concrete expression on the physical plane. In other words, there must ultimately be established upon the earth a great city or center of civilization, which will just as perfectly typify the regenerative state of mankind as Jerusalem does the ungenerated. It shall come down out of heaven, or come through the inspired and illumined minds of those seers and seeresses who can reach up in consciousness into the heavenly realms or states of spiritual consciousness. And it shall manifest on earth when man is able to manifest the divine more perfectly through the human. Hi, half of the people that watch me. That was us. That's us now. Yay! When the true priesthood serves before the altar, there will be no literal sacrifices of rams and bulls, but only a pouring out of that which they symbolize. The blood of the ram signifies the stream of spiritual life force poured out upon mankind through the sign of Aries. Hi. The sacrifice will be accomplished when, through the lessons learned by correlating with the higher aspects of Aries, the intellect gladly sacrifices its ruling power upon the altar of love and obedience to divine law. In other words, man will bring the first fruits of his mental flocks to the Christ. The blood of the bull symbolizes the life essence of the sign Taurus, or the patient bringing forth on the physical plane through toil, labor, and sacrifice of the highest that physical life can express, and laying this also upon the altar of the Christ in the New Jerusalem, where the great priest Melchizedek shall reign as prophet, priest, and king. Daily sacrifices shall be offered for all the people, but instead of the stench of literal sacrifices, there shall arise the sweet-smelling Savior upon the Lord, so long prophesied, for it could never be fulfilled by the offering of literal life blood of animal victims. Melchizedek, being without father, without mother, without descent, would be debarred from the priesthood according to the requirements of the priests and Levites, just as was Jesus because of his non-mortal parentage. The priests and Levites were the humanely ordained priesthood, which arose the result of man's refusal to follow the higher law as delivered by the divinely inspired priesthood. The human priesthood may claim apostolic succession or even direct continence, but as long as their only claim to the priesthood is a certain amount of intellectual training or the possession of a diploma from earthly teachers instead of the power to see behind the veil and consciously commune with the divine instructors of the race, they can never become true priests before the Lord. And as long as mankind looks to such an earthly priesthood for divine guidance, which can be imparted only by the spiritual counterpart of the Ephod and the Urim and Thummim, it is no wonder that humanity goes heart hungry and receives stones when it asks for bread. For only as the high priest can don the ephod, and through the power of the Urim and the Thummim stand before the ark and receive his guidance direct from the Lord, can he truly minister to the spiritual needs of the people. An earthly priesthood grows more and more materialistic as it gets further and further from the direct guidance of the divine, and further from manifesting the divine standards of love, tolerance, and brotherhood. Under such circumstances, it is wise that church and state be separated, for such an earthly ordained priesthood has no more ability to rule wisely than the civil rulers. Melchizedek was king of the righteousness and the king of peace. This further connects him with Jesus, who is called Prince of Peace. In other words, Melchizedek is a term used to symbolize a special outpouring of embodiment of the Christ principle, an avatar to the early fifth great Aryan race, which was founded by the symbolic Abraham. Jesus was a later manifestation or avatar of the same Christ principle of the fifth sub-race, of the fifth great race. An avatar is not immortal, but a great spiritual being who voluntarily descends into earth conditions to help humanity. Hi, most of us. He must be without earthly parentage, for he is a direct manifestation of divine to man. He suddenly appears at the proper cyclic moment to reestablish the divine priesthood and bring mankind back to the true principles of the spiritual life. Here, half of us are here again. Hence, Melchizedek symbolized an avatar who came to the early Aryan race to find or again give out, as has been done in Atlantis, the one great wisdom religion for the new cycle, from the seeds of which have sprung the great religions now known to man. An avatar appears in a body, which seems to be mortal, but is not so in reality. For the atoms composing it are spiritualized and immortal, hence have naught to do with the death or decay. The matter comprising it is so sensitive that through the power of will, it can be made to manifest on any plane of consciousness. Hence, when such a being desires to appear among men by a single act of will, the rate of vibration of his spiritualized body is slowed down to the rate of the physical plane, and it becomes objective, apparently a mortal body of a very fine type. In fact, it corresponds to the spiritual body to which St. Paul refers. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. The first was made a living soul. The last was made quickening spirit. The first man is of earth, earthly. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Behold, I shew you a mystery. Such a body would transcend the limitations of any one race and embody the perfection of all races, hence could not arouse race prejudice by being assigned to any one people. Such an appearance is not manifested through a body born of woman, but like the Melchizedek is without parents, as such appearances have always been throughout the ages. The world is today awaiting the advent of such another divine teacher or true prophet, a personalized embodiment of the great Christos principle of the universe, the all-pervading, vivifying power which underlies all manifestations of the one life. He comes again as of old, as the Son of Righteousness, to reestablish the divine priesthood and restore the principle of the ancient wisdom religion to the sixth subrace, now just beginning. And now ending, because this was written a long time ago. As this great spiritual being approaches the earth plane, each heart who can respond to the vibrations of his message will come more or less consciously into touch with him, no matter what organization or movement he may be working in, and according as the rational mind of such a one has been trained in the laws of such manifestations and the true philosophy of the mysteries, will his interpretation be clear or imperfect? There are today many hearts who are responding more or less consciously to this force of divine love, now being focused upon the earth plane in greater measure than ever before. Truth. Again, this is written a long time ago. Just as certain seasons of the year, there is a great outpouring of theological students who have graduated from the seminaries, so in the divine world, there are certain cyclic periods where divine love and wisdom is poured out in greater abundance, or when it may be said that many priests are initiated or receive the spiritual illumination which marks them as true priests. Hence, in every organization and spiritual promulgating the true divine wisdom, there will arise some advanced soul who is capable of being directly overshadowed by a ray of spiritual consciousness from the coming avatar, and thus become, to that society or organization, a direct representative of the avatar. This advanced souls are called Avisha, or partial avatars, for while they are not the avatar in that they are mortal and have a physical personality to contend with, they are overshadowed at certain periods by his divine consciousness. Quote, necessarily the messages of the various Avesha avatars will differ in details, for the ability of such a channel to give out the teaching depends upon such factors as the line of endeavor he is interested in, his race thought, his mental and spiritual capacity, his habits of life, his knowledge of the laws and philosophy of the higher life, and the intellectual training his mind, through which all the teachings must pass, has received. In this way, the members of every society and movement shall have the divine truth spoken in their own language, wherein they were born, couched in the terminology, symbols, and characteristic methods of expression particular to their avenue of truth. Pause here. Holy shit. I honestly, in my estimation, don't believe there is going to be one avatar, or what we want to say is Jesus coming back moment. I don't think that's going to happen this time. And the only reason why is because of what they just said. There is so many of us encompassing that Christ office. We're all bringing it out. It's not just one of us. It's not just some one head figure that is encompassing this office. It's all of us. Captain planning it together. Dakota rings unite. And in all the communities, all the light workers. And that's from Japan all the way through to Hawaii are bringing it. I don't believe there's one person, because we're all one anyway. Individuated, I think it's all collectively all of us, because we're stuck in the separation and limitation, and now we're trying to bridge the new consciousness in and weaving it around and giving these laws and the old ways of doing and expressing things. Hey, it's allegory. It's not literal. Hey. We're not here to bash your parade, but X, Y, and Z. And there's so many of us stepping forward in our communities, in speaking with people that are shedding lights on the very thing that you just spoke about. Insane. Once again, divine timing here as I'm reading this. Keeping this law in mind, we see that an avatar does not come to any one society, order, movement, or sect, but to humanity. And his teachings will be so divine and perfect, yet so simple, unprejudiced, and unbiased by the characteristics of any cult, that they will be equally applicable to all and will appeal to all spiritual-minded people, no matter what their race, creed, or special trend of thought. Truth. The memory of the past is beginning to dawn upon mankind today, but now few listen to the cry of the ages. Not one earnest seeker, but has heard the echo of something sacred, which may seem to just elude his grasp. This life period is one more opportunity to remember, not only to remember, but to set definitely to work. Once more, will there come upon the earth in our midst the same great priest, king, and initiator, the priest of the Most High, whom we last knew as Jesus. Pray God that he may find us all waiting, that not one upon whose head he has placed his hands in consecration may be missing. Remember that our dreams of divine love are true, that life is more than it seems, that the day of the little things shall grow into the day of the great things. Today, pay attention to the little things. The avatar must come, but how perfect shall be his work depends upon how many can grasp the great plan. How many are ready to sink personally into that perfect obedience which the law of love, justice, peace, and righteousness demands. There can be no compulsory obedience. Each life must gladly follow the discipline necessary for the accomplishment, not of its own ideas or life and service, but the perfect establishment of true priesthood of the Most High, the establishment upon earth of a reflection of the hierarchies of heaven. The cry of the Great One is now coming forth to all who can hear. Come unto me, my little lambs. The fold is waiting, and the heart of the shepherd yearning. What is this fold? It is the grace priesthood of the Most High, the body of his chosen servants, gathered from out the heart of the flower of the races that have passed and consecrated to the upliftment of humanity, sworn by the most sacred vows to understand, to love, and to give. Not one word can return unto me void. Not one thought through all the eternities is lost. Think then of the thoughts that have been shed around you as you journey through the wilderness of lives and lives. Think of the words that have been spoken through the mouths of the chosen prophets in your ears, life after life, age after age. Will ye set still, be deaf and dumb to love? To be sheep of the fold means to know your shepherd, to follow gladly, to hear his voice and obey, not to obey because it seems to you reasonable and profitable and according to your worldly judgment, but to obey because you know and love the voice that speaks, because you have learned through the ages that are past that this is the shepherd who leadeth you beside the still waters of life, who feedeth with you the green and tender grass, who sheltereth you in the fold of his loving arms. This is why you follow and why you obey. This is the great test of the ages. How often have you gone astray, seeking for strange gods and new pastures? How long has your return and recognition been awaited? And now the clock of time has struck the hour. Behold, the day star rises high in the heavens. Soon, soon must he come to earth clothed in the garment of flesh. Will he find you still waiting for his blessings? Or will you find you indifferent, following after your own reason, doubtful of his voice? Unless the sheep know the voice of the shepherd, they will be blind and will never recognize his face. Unless they learn to love, to recognize, and thus obey unquestioningly the divine message, they will never be ready to take their places in the great temple, where the true priesthood must work out the great scheme of salvation and the reflection upon earth of the hierarchies of heaven. Wow, profound. Once again, they brought it, and I honestly do believe that I don't believe one person. God speaks through many of us in many different ways. I don't believe there's one human that's going to possess this. I believe it's a bunch of people that have this wisdom, this greater knowledge, knows the plan, is getting direct messages from source itself in the highest of all to help steer humanity. I don't believe it's not to say I don't believe in the alien entities. They're just one little aspect of a construct that's way bigger in infinitude than we can think of. And they're not the ones that are going to save us. They're aiding us in expansion. They're aiding us. They're helping. But it's up to us, humans, to save ourselves. Salvation lies within. We can't, I don't reject the uploads and downloads that I receive from other entities from higher above that are of an alien nature? Absolutely not. I'm them, they're me. But at the end of the day, I got to do the physical work. I have to put the physical effort in. I have to do the mental gymnastics in my brain in order to channel higher ended information and spew it here. It's not just, I'm just going to lay on my couch all day, pet my cats, and everything's going to be la-di-da, because that's not how life works. We each have to put the work in. We have to manifest. We have to transmute and alchemize energy. Sitting and waiting for that white horse to come riding in, whether it be the Messiah, Christ coming back and being resurrected. It's the resurrections within all of us to recognize what we are and what power we have within. When we say know what your fractals are, it's just that, because of how powerful you are. And when you're not in that awareness and actually apply it and integrate it within your being, you're just speaking spiritual bullshit. Just because you watch a Dolores Cannon video and share it doesn't mean you're integrating her information into your knowledge base and actually applying and applicating those terms that she spoke into your life. I could say for my own self that with all the books that I have behind me, a vast majority of them, I have applied the lessons that I've learned from the books. I've gone through a lot of measure of meditating. A lot of those books have meditations in there, and doing the work that the book is ascribing. Some of it I don't heart align with, so I don't do it. But I'm walking most of the truth that is in all the books behind me, in one aspect of my life to another. The messages are actually being done because I'm physically putting my will to power to put action into motion, to have a cause and effect, to manifest for betterment of humanity and myself. I'm going out each day and spreading love. I'm going in my own self to meditate in my backyard, to touch the trees, to ground my energy, to focus my will and intention to get the negativity out of this world. I'm modeling behavior by putting my boundaries up and showing people I am no longer going to subscribe to hate. I'm not condoning any of those negative, polarized people's actions, but I'm not feeding them their energy or what they want to will into their manifestation. I'm modeling behavior. I'm talking about behavior, but I'm walking it. I'm going about my day doing it. I'm not just willfully watching videos and saying, oh, do this, to just say to do it. It's because I've walked through it and that's something that's worked for me. It might not work for you, but other people are doing and modeling different things that might gel with you better. Once again, we are not, I don't believe a Messiah is coming. I believe all of us collectively are that. If we can all model better behavior, matured wording, walking in the essence of all things, in integrating what works in hearts align with us, modeling it to society, people will slowly start changing. People who are doing the reading, but just getting it for the knowledge and not actually applying it, that's their journey that they have to take. But we have to really be selective on the true people giving those messages out, and not just because they want the like button to be smashed and the $100,000 contract to come in, right? I'm not looking for those fanciful things. This is my mission. Many of us are speaking the same, very similar terms in our own perceptions, perspectives, our personality, our characteristics are out. And many of us are doing it in our own way. And whoever gels with us sticks. Whoever doesn't, they leave. And it's perfectly fine. And we're going to have lots more people coming into the scene. Remember your true self, your authentic self. Remember who you are. And you're not going to know all of the lives you've lived, only the ones that are really significant and important for you in this life, in this concurrent moment of the linear time space. We're all very unique and special. We wouldn't be here otherwise. We wouldn't have chosen this time of now to be the lighthouses and the beacons of strength for a world that's in the diminishing light of none. I can't even put a word to how, I don't know if there is a word to describe and define the energy that I pick up of humanity. And I know it's just the outpurging of inner shit that all of us have accumulated life after life after life within this life. It's all purging out of us. And this is what's being reflected on the holographic screen in front of us. The dismantling of government, the fighting and bickering and separation and limitation, catastrophe after catastrophe. And the tests are you showing up for humanity, or are you just idly watching it on the news and doing absolutely bupkis? And more, we're seeing more uprising of humanity, pulling themselves by the bootstraps, doing what is in the 3D. You still have to live your everyday life. I do. I have to feed myself. I have to go out and to get another job because this job is not supplicating my life. I mean, it's hard to see, but I have a huge bruise here. I have a bruise here. I have a bite mark up here. My shoulder is all black and blue from being bit. Like, I'm physically getting ratchetly beat up by little children. I mean, they're autistic and, it all serves a purpose, but I'm not getting paid enough to even support myself on that income. I need 3, 4. This world is bananas. And I think when all of us put an end to this tyrannical nonsense and aggrandizement of us people, we the people have to stand up. And that's not a political right or left side statement. That's we the people need to fucking stand up. And on a spiritual basis, you got to be doing these things for the right reasons. Not because you know the knowledge and you're just going to spew it out at people. It's because you're walking it and you're living it in your everyday existence. That's what authenticity is in the spiritual realm at this moment in time that I'm banking off of from upstairs. So I hope everybody has a fantastic Halloween. Remember, we're reclaiming this holiday for the light. In my estimation, I think it's the best thing ever to see little kids with homemade costumes, even the regular costumes. It allows a kid to have an imagination. It actually encompass a character. I love Halloween for that. I was like, I need a little bit of a change in my hair. I don't want to get rid of my length, but I mean, hello, Beth Dutton. I don't have that color, but I could be Beth Dutton today from Yellowstone. She's a sassy CUNT. See you next Tuesday. She's brilliant, smart. And I really like her character on that show. So hello. And I really don't watch television, but Viking got me into it when I was with him. Hopefully today he gets to be Rip. And one of his daughters is being a space cowgirl, and then one of his other daughters and her mom is going to be dressed up very similar, so it should be cute. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going on yet, but I will be out trick-or-treating maybe, or sitting outside watching the cute little kids walk by. That's like something I love to do. I don't have candy this year. I can't afford it. bills have to come first and food needs to come first. And I want to thank Debbie and Chris for helping me out significantly, just to help me with that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everybody who's helped me throughout all these 3 years. It's devastating to have to ask for that kind of help. And it took me a long time to get to the point of asking for help. And that was 2 years ago when I started the channel. And the progression of my channel, you could see I was in desperity. I lost so much weight. I didn't lose hope, but I was not in the mindset of clarity because I was surviving each and every day. I didn't know what was going to happen the next. And I'm getting back into that mode, but I'm transmuting that. I'm not trying to repeat that. I'm trying to take different approaches and different angles. And so far, I did lose 15 pounds, much necessary, because I was a little on the hefty side for my body weight and my size. I'm small. But for the most part, I'm eating what is available to me. Might not be the healthiest stuff. I know my kidneys are starting to be affected. I have yet to go to the doctor because I can't afford the copayment to get to the doctor. Lights, electric, heat need to be first. So hopefully I'm praying that something comes through and I'm not going to have to stress. I might have to work a lot and not be here that much, but I'm hoping something works out where I can have 2 jobs, do this, and get my work done, meaning all my artwork done, and still do me. And we'll see what happens. So, guys, I love you guys. Send you all love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within, be the shoulder, be the lighthouse, seed your truths. And thank you for your support. I hope to see you guys on the next one and have a blessed and beautiful Halloween. Bye for now.